the 1917 revolutions is addressed. Number one, Tsar Nicholas's autocratic style. When you speak of his autocratic style, it's wherein we are mainly talking of the manner in which he's going to lead us. Yes. That he's not going to take other people's opinions, he's just going to be someone who leads on his own way. And then we also did talk about the very fact that there was that instability or instability that is tied to the government. Wherein in 1915 to 1917, there's going to be a whole lot of things that are going to happen, starting from 1914, where we spoke about the war of World War I. And then we come to talk about the war ending in 1918. All those facets that are tied to the war will show the instability of
the government,
the incompetence of, because we do understand that Tsar Nicholas II and his government will continue to be as incompetent as they were before 1905. So in this instance, we also spoke of the shortage of workers on farms and industries. There was inadequate railway system, food and fuel did not reach cities, peasants could not obtain agricultural tools, seeds and fertilizers, leading to drop in production, decline in industrial production and inflation. All these things are mainly tied to the backwardness of Russia as an empire in terms of development. And we did say that when we speak of their manner of development compared to the others, Russia was by far the most backward of the empires, right? And then we spoke of the February Revolution, which was not planned by anyone. Instead, it was due to that particular shortage of bread. And when you speak of the shortage of bread, it is more so affecting the people that are dealing with the agriculture. Who are those people that deal with the farming in the society?
The peasants.
It's the peasants. And when you speak of peasants, they'll be the ones that are more so affected by the shortage of bread. So it will somewhat seem ironical to them that we can't be the ones that farm, that deal with this, and then at the end of the day, we are the ones that have none of them which we mainly should be getting, which is bread. And then fast forward to the revolution, it ignites. When it ignites, we speak of, number one, it was spontaneous and not organized by any political party, which is the point that I'm making, that it was led or it happened because of the peasants and their dissatisfaction. Are we together? Yes. And then we moved on to this part of them saying they were demanding food and fuel. When you speak of the food and fuel that they were mainly demanding, it's because there was that particular diversion or that diversion of food and fuel not coming to the society. Instead, a whole lot of those things were going to go and be used by, where was the food and fuel going in this context? To the army in the war. So in this instance, it's we're in now, they are basically saying we are demanding these things. Because number one, we are not in support, not everyone that is in Russia supports the war that was being fought by the Russian army. And it continues to say there was also a demand for withdrawal from the war, which we know will not happen until Lenin actually comes into power, right? And then we speak of the end to autocracy. These are all things that they are demanding, by the way. When it says demanding food and fuel, they'll also demand withdrawal from the war. They'll also demand the end to autocracy. They'll also demand that, oh no, the students will join the strikers. And then eventually we'll speak of the Petrograd soldiers who sympathized with the demonstrators. And then 15 March, Tsar Nicholas II abdicates. We did say that abdication means...
So was it part?
Was it?
Was the demanding fuel part of the manifesto?
No, it was not part of the manifesto. It was only due to what was happening at that point in time. They had run out of food. They were also running out of fuel in the societies from which they lived. It's not that Russia did not have them. Instead, it had them and only diverted their use to focus only in the army. And in this instance, when they were demanding it, it's not because it was written in that October manifesto that was given to Tsar or by Tsar in October of 1905. Or it was not also a response. All these demands were not written on paper. These are things that they demanded on the streets now. There were no longer people that were going to write petitions, like we do remember them writing petitions in 1905. They wrote petitions and therefore hand delivered them to the Tsar, wherein they got shot. So in this context, they are not going to write these demands on paper. All of these things that they are mainly demanding, they'll be demanding them from the streets, wherein the revolution will basically be very active at this point in time. Are we together? And then we continue to talk of the results. When you speak of the results, after Tsar Nicholas II resigns or abdicates, this view is not proper. So when it comes to the results, it's wherein we speak of the results of the February Revolution after Tsar Nicholas II resigns. We did say that when he resigns, there's going to be a government that is therefore going to self-appoint itself. Yes.
So when we do the strike between the states, does it not affect